we just have one final setting to look at before we're going to be ready to go off and make our very own track. So keeping in mind what we talked about in the last video with automation, let's take a listen to this part, and I want you to ask yourself, is there any automation going on this track? Clearly, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I did some very obvious things like modulating a filter just so we could make sure that we were all able to hear that something was happening. So just as a review, I can go in here, select anything in yellow, and that's going to show me a parameter that's being modulated. So you can see we have some things with the reverb being moved around, some things with the filter being moved around, and some things with the delay. Now, what if we're in a situation where we're writing our track, but we just want to move everything over? What's going to happen to the automation? Well, right now what's going to happen when I try to drag this over is I'm going to be asked, do I want to move the automation? Now, if I select no here, what we're going to hear is as I play this back, you can see that the automation curve did not move with the track. So once we hit bar 9 here, everything is just remaining totally static. And in some situations, if you want to move something ever so slightly, you may not want to copy the automation data along with it. But in most cases, you're going to want to move that so that things stay cohesive, so that it sounds like it sounded when it was sitting at bar 1 as compared to at bar 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start by turning this off, pulling it back to the very beginning. I'm not going to move the automation, but now this time when I pull this all the way over, I'll go ahead and select yes, and now let's take a listen. So clearly all the automation data has moved along with the clip. The one setting that controls the Ask dialog box that comes up is under your Edit settings, and it's right here, Move Copy Automation Data. So if you always know you want it to move, you can go ahead and select this. If you never want it to move, which my guess is this would be a very dangerous box to click, you could choose that option, or you can leave it at its default of Ask, which is probably where I'm going to leave it. Okay, so now you know everything there pretty much is to know about Soundation. So it's time to start talking about creating our very first track.